You're watching the 1847 show, and this is Season 1, Series 2, Episode 9, which is part of our series called Digitalized Liberia. The series highlights individuals solving real problems by integrating technological solutions to make Liberia a digitalized nation. Digitalizing Liberia could mean better data transparency as technology provides access to information which could aid against corruption, improve health and education facilities, deliver efficient agricultural practices that could yield higher crops production, amongst many other advantages. Our guest today is Shalom Massalay, who is a graduate of the Blue Crest University and a computer science teacher at the American International School of Monrovia. She is a determined young lady who is deeply passionate about using software, artificial intelligence, and many other technological means to solve real problems affecting our society. So one of the things that many people might not know watching this is that you and I, when we were teenagers, we started rapping, right? We wanted to be rappers. So tell me, and one thing I remember from that is definitely you're a better off rapper than I was, and you had the talent. So what inspired you at that time to get involved into rapping? Specifically, hold on, before you answer, Shalom was a Christian rapper. She rapped specifically about the gospel, and she was sharing God's message through music. So she was
Yeah.
specifically into rapping because she was trying to use that as a medium to share the gospel. However, what else inspired you besides that?
So you see, sometimes in church, people don't understand the gospel that well, okay? And sometimes people don't also have the opportunity to come to church. So rap music is something that attracts youth a lot. So I just used what was in the Bible and what God inspired me to like put it in a song and a rap. And I knew that definitely was going to attract more youth. And at the same time, they will be hearing the gospel.
So would you say that's also a hobby that was fun for you as well?
It was so much fun.
So much
So
fun.
much. But the other thing, I don't know how come IT overcome that.
And that's my next question. How do you transition from rapping to IT, something that involves entertainment, to something that it really has nothing to do with entertainment? It's just straight work. And how did you transition?
So if anyone that knows me, like really knows, I have lots of passions, and some of them don't. They're not
Coincide?
similar. They're like opposite to each other. So like from the time I was little, I always loved gadgets, exploring apps and things like that. So it was my brother that actually he spotted out. He said, "I think you'll be very good at IT." At that time, I didn't even know what IT was. I was like 10, I think 10 or 12. I wrote my dad's name in the TV, and I even found a way to. I had like 300 APKs in the phone that couldn't support 300 apps. So I did like crazy things, and my brother like, okay, I think you're good. You're gonna be good with IT. And
Mhm.
from that time, I loved it so much.
Even more than rap, which is why you don't rap
Even
anymore.
more than rap, I'm very surprised. Even more than rap.
That's awesome. So, what are some of your, now that you've graduated, you're working, you have a good job, what are some of your future educational goals or educational goals that you would like to start working on to advance yourself into what may be the next stage of your career?
Okay, so currently I'm taking some courses online, and then also, how do I say it? I would like to further my studies in cybersecurity and the next, and then further my studies in artificial intelligence. That's what I would like to do.
So, you want to kind of master both artificial intelligence and cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So I do have questions here for later on in the interview, so we can talk more about that because I feel like that's one of the topics that a lot of people hear, but they don't really truly understand what it means or to the extent that it could affect them as individuals, right? So I want to keep that as a side conversation. Now, you're very, like I said, I mentioned earlier, you have a very good job. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis? What is your job as a computer science teacher? What does it mean? And why did you decide to work for that institution?
Okay. So I'm a computer science teacher, as you said, and I teach the kids because I'm teaching students from pre-K to fifth grade. So basically, I teach them coding concepts, computer science concepts as well, and using block codes because kids get bored with text, black background with text. It's just so even some adults get bored with that. So I
Hmm.
teach them like colorful blocks, but also it's making them to learn coding concepts. They're applying coding concepts, and so usually I also manage the class, make sure that the learning environment is safe, so no one is fighting, no one is bad mouthing anyone else, things like that. So that's what I do usually
Is
on a
that
daily basis.
uh, is that driven solely by the passion of IT, or is it also driven by the passion for kids as well?
So it's driven by the passion of IT, one, the first thing IT, and
Hmm.
also to impact the next generation. You know what you have in you, putting it in someone else. Oh
For
my God, it's
sure.
like creating a mini you. Yeah, that's
And if you
something
want to teach people anything, I guess that those are the best ages to even start at.
very true. Very
Yeah.
true. And you won't believe what those kids can do. Sometimes I'm baffled. I'm like, how did you get that?
What would you say, maybe from your perspective, what would you say is the number one reason that the government might not be as open to the idea of digitalizing everything?
So, okay, one thing I think the government might not be open to is the risk of being attacked, so hacked. Yeah, because the last time I was also reading an article that Africa as a whole loses billions of dollars due to hacks. So the Europeans mention Africa as a soft belly. So Africa, it's a little bit easier to hack from Africa. So that's one thing I think the Liberian government will hesitate to make digitalized Liberia because they might have the risk of being hacked.
Okay. Especially, considering the current state of Liberia, if we do become digitalized, it's also the issue of infrastructure because with being digitalized, there's a lot of
Huh.
infrastructure that is required, like data centers, uh,
Exactly. Exactly.
24-hour internet, 24-hour servers running.
Current,
Exactly. So
all that, yes.
we might be a bit far away from that, but in the meantime, there are several challenges that we first need to settle in other sectors, like with LEC, and so on. But
Internet.
let's talk a little bit about the women's role in IT in Liberia, right? So, what would you say the role of women is currently at? Like, where is it at currently as far as women in technology in Liberia, and then where would you say it needs to be?
So, as we all know, this field is a man dominated field all around the world. It doesn't exclude Liberia. In fact, Liberia is like, we don't have lots of female developers. I know a few female developers, but I don't know a lot compared to the men. So, one thing I think we should also like, how would I say it? I think females should enter this field a lot, okay? And because females have a unique way of bringing things to the table, and that will also meet a lot their skills, the uniqueness will meet.
What are some of those uniqueness?
So let me give you an example. Okay, if you say encoding web development, it's divided into two. So there's a front end developer and a back end developer. So a front end developer is the person that develops everything the users see, okay, like the colors, the animation, and all that. And the back end developer is the person that does the functionalities, at the back that
Hmm.
people usually don't see but they use. So a lady, I'm not saying that's the only place she can succeed in, but a lady, if she's doing front end, she's good. We have good eyes for colors, design. Yeah. So
Some
I
extent,
think
yeah. Yeah, I can see. I don't know if it's backed by science, but okay.
okay, yeah. No, actually, I've seen some girls like they're very good at blending colors and things like that. Like I'm not good at it,
I,
so I'm
I
just
would
gonna
I
have a
would
go.
agree because if you translate that to fashion, women are much more fashionable than men. So yes, I will agree. Mhm.
but I'm not good at it, so it's not all girls, both
Yes.
girls.
Hmm.
Yes. So those are the uniqueness I think they're going to bring, and so everyone has a different way of thinking. The males have different way of thinking, females have different way of thinking. So if we have a diverse environment, I think it's going to be something really good and better than having just one way of doing things.
Right.
Okay.
And the thing, one of the reasons I think that is important too, because we got to keep in mind that when men, when the field is dominated by men and they're creating products that are supposed to be beneficial for all humankind, it's really scary because, like you said, it's not diversified. They're not getting the feedback from other people, other gender,
Yes. Yes.
that it could also benefit. So then there's an imbalance of
There is. Yeah.
creation and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I wouldn't say, but I don't remember where I read it from. It's like women pay attention to details than men. Yeah. If
that
you're
that
comparing.
I can reason with.
Yeah.
Men are just
So,
trying to check the box.